control. Okay. I recently saw this game on sale for like 10 euros and I decided to buy it. Back in the days, I was a big X-Files fan and I still like the show, even though the last episodes were a bit disappointing. But with all these nostalgia movies and TV series, most of the times the results are not the best. But I decided, I like all these supernatural events and stuff, so I thought I should try this game. Also, many people talked a lot about it, and okay, so I bought the Ultimate Edition for the Xbox Series S. So this means I got the DLCs as well. So this is a review for the, let's say, the Ultimate Package. The game plus the DLCs. Okay, in this game you take control of this female character, and let's start with the gameplay basics. So this is a third-person game, and you can fire weapons, and you can have like some supernatural abilities to fight enemies. What I find interesting in this game is that instead of having this ammo and you have to find ammo packs, no, here you have this weapon, and the more you fire, the more the energy depletes, but after time it recharges automatically. You don't have to press buttons or stuff like this. So this is an interesting mechanic. Sadly, most of the time you have too many enemies, and your ammo runs out quite quickly, so you have to somehow combine your abilities with the weapons. As for the weapons, you have like several weapons. The most powerful is the grenade launcher, or like the grenade pistol, or you have like various pistols that do different kinds of damage, and it depends on the enemy type. It's advisable to combine your weapons, because some weapons do very little damage to certain enemies. You have like the possibility to carry two weapons at the same time. You switch between them with one button. So it's good to choose and balance between two weapons. And let's say if you are in a fight, you can still pause and reconfigure, but you get what I mean. If you want to quickly switch, it's good to be prepared before the fight. Now, these weapons you can upgrade. So you collect various resources, and then like you can see, okay, this upgrade requires this and this. And the more you upgrade the weapon, the more powerful it becomes, and you gain like weapon slots. And in these weapon slots, you can put, imagine like some rooms, and depending on your playing style, you have different possibilities. And even some rooms are specific to certain weapons. Okay, like sort of, I'll give like brief example. Let's say you want to do more piercing damage, so you can put this, or maybe you want your weapon to recharge faster or something like this. You have various options. Beside the weapon, you can upgrade yourself as well. Let's say you want to have more health, or you have for the special abilities, you have also some kind of meter which depletes the more you use your abilities. This meter depletes, same as with the weapon. So you can increase this meter, let's say your mana. So yeah, you can upgrade your weapons, you can upgrade your abilities. Also, you have this skill tree where you have various abilities. Let's say you have this shield that shields you against bullets, or there is mind control where you can control other enemies, or you have this bow ability where you can pick up objects, or you can fly. And the more you upgrade these abilities, the better they become. So again, depends which abilities you find useful, how you want to combine them. It's a cool system, and the more missions you play, the more points you get, and you can spend them. I think that by the end of my play, I was able to upgrade most of the skills to the maximum level. Now, what is there? So you don't have like some inventory. Yeah, you have something like inventory system, because you can carry a certain amount of weapon upgrades, a certain amount of personal upgrades, and after you have your inventory full, you can just deconstruct these upgrades and gain some points, some resources. You have also the option to construct upgrades yourself. The more enemies you kill, the more points you get, so you can construct more upgrades. And the higher this skill is, then the higher level items you can construct. Now, some of the resources are hard to find. I wasn't able to upgrade this skill to the maximum. Okay. How long is the game? Well, I managed to finish it in about 10 hours, the main story. But you have a lot of side missions. So maybe if you want to beat the DLCs plus the side missions and complete everything, well, I would say about 20-30 hours. I still haven't finished most of the missions, and To be honest, I don't find the story that great. I'll talk about the story a bit later on. So let's talk about the enemies. They all look the same, kind of like these zombie type creatures, and they're these fast attackers which get very close very quick. They're like these creatures that explode, the suicide creatures. You have like some flying creatures as well. You have some very armored creatures, and you have some boss fights, let's say, from time to time. There are not that many, but that's about it. As I said, various enemy types require different tactics when you fight them. Okay, you have as part of the gameplay, you have this map system. Most people curse at the map system. I think it's okay, not the best, but it's certainly okay. And there are like signs in the building, so you can find the mission quite quickly. Sometimes it might get confusing, but yeah, there are some secret areas where you can find some items. Also, there are like these puzzles which I like. So usually the game goes like fight a lot of creatures, then solve some puzzles, and then repeat. The puzzles themselves are not very hard. Maybe if you take Tomb Raider as an example, it will be something similar. I would say even a bit more simple than the last Tomb Raider games. But I like the puzzles for sure. There were one or two puzzles which were quite hard, like according to some people. I think that if you use your mind, it's not that hard. Now throughout the game there are like these portals where you can fast travel, and it's like a save system. Quite similar to Diablo 2 actually, the portal. So if you die, you start at the last activated portal. Some people say the game is quite hard. I think that if you use your skills wisely and you upgrade, and it's okay. The difficulty is okay. You cannot change it. I would say there is like some game difficulty spike towards the end. But at times I would just go back and search for some older missions, and then at times you feel overpowered. It depends, but I think generally it's okay. You just have to keep moving. Don't hold still, don't try to cover, and you will be fine. Now, obviously, you can fly, the enemies can fly, and enemies come from different directions. So, yeah, as I said, just keep moving and use your abilities. Maybe this some of the side missions, there is like this jukebox, and you get like some special missions. At the end of these missions, you get some special rewards, and you have to complete these missions, let's say under 20 something minutes. So if you die, the chances are that you failed the mission, and you have to complete 4 missions in around 20 minutes. So there are some hard missions, but generally, if you want to finish the game, it's okay. You don't even have to do the side missions unless you want to get the upgrade points. Okay. During the game, as for the sound, the dialogue is voiced, and the atmosphere is interesting. Most of the time you hear some voices, some chatter, and this builds up the atmosphere. What I liked about this game is that there are some really crazy levels. Like, the level design is really great, and there are certain levels that I really enjoyed. Like, there is this maze towards the end, and you listen to some metal music as you fight enemies, and I think this is one of the best levels that I played. And due to the supernatural, some level bend, it gets really crazy. I mean, at times it reminded me of the Legacy of Kain, Soul River, where you go into the other dimension and the levels become very crazy. So this is really cool. Overall, I had fun playing this game. I finished the main game, the DLCs. Okay, let's talk about a bit about the story. Now, you have to read a lot of files and information in order to get the story, and even then, it's quite confusing. To be honest, I dislike this approach of storytelling where the game expects you to know what's going on because the character is talking to someone in their mind, and you are presented with this hiss with many events, and it's like the game expects that you know what's going on. But this style of storytelling is interesting when there is some suspense. Let's say maybe you are watching some David Lynch movie, and there is some mystery, some puzzles, and then towards the end of the movie you get to learn what's going on, and you have to rewatch the movie in order to get all the events. But here, I don't think that the characters, the story is so intriguing that I would be invested in reading all these files and piecing all the story together. The characters themselves are without a lot of emotion, so it's sometimes even the game levels, as I said, there are some original levels, but most of the time you are in some office-like environment. So I don't know, the characters are a bit taken from some office, and the setting is from some office. So and I try to escape the office and work from let's say any point, And when I see the office, even in a video game, and I get to spend so much time in the office, this feels a bit depressing, you know. So after spending so much time in the office and these office type characters, yeah, this is one big disappointment. As I said, somehow the game is a bit pretentious, like, oh, these are these crazy scenes, and you have to understand what's going on. Okay, I don't really want to know at times. And I would say this is a bit lazy to a certain degree. Okay, maybe, you know, some certain games you play 5 minutes, then you watch half an hour of movies, then the same repeats, and it's like you are in some interactive movie. So you can say that this is also a nice approach. If you want to follow the story, you can do it, but if you want just to play the game, you can just play the game. So yeah, but in the end, after playing this game, I don't feel like replaying this game and catching all the stuff related to the game. I would say that the DLCs were more fun in a way, because in one of them you hunt this supernatural creature which has like some cool design, and the levels are quite intense. So I would say this DLC is quite good. Also, this maze level from the main game is quite good. So there are certain moments that I really enjoyed, but overall I don't feel so engaged. Like there is some connection to this Alan Wake game which I didn't play back in time. Maybe I'll play the remaster at some point. Maybe there is this connection between these two games that is worth exploring, but yeah, I cannot comment too much on this. So maybe one of the things I missed is like the physics system. I really enjoyed like how you pick concrete blocks and throw at enemies, how stuff explodes, how there are splinters and all this crazy stuff. And yeah, it gets a bit like the Matrix at times, and it's really cool. Yeah, although I think the main character is not that interesting, it's cool that there is like some new female character. Even at times I can make slight connection between this game and Blood Rain, just because of the supernatural elements and the female lead. So if you like this game in the past, I think you'll like Control as well. Otherwise, game was very stable. I didn't face any bugs, glitches, crashes, so that's quite good. And yeah, I think that's about it. Not much more to say about the game. Overall, enjoyable game, but I would say a bit forgettable. So that's all. Thanks.